So it has been a long period of time, and I finally put the Chill Out OGs in the jars. I've gone from all the way from seed all the way to harvest, and it has been quite the ride. But what has the experience really been like, and what did I experience in those last couple weeks right before chopping this plant down? Let me tell you. So the first thing I want to tackle is I want to talk about the climate that these plants had to deal with. It is a harsh Michigan winter, and gosh darn it, we like it warm in our house. So these plants had to deal with high 70-degree temperatures. I had these lights on max. I didn't want to waste any photosynthesis. I had them on their 12-on-12 cycle, and the humidity that they had to deal with was sitting in around 30 to 35%. It was dry for these girls. They were having a rough time, but guess what? They took it like a champ, and could it have been the reason they suffered so many issues? I will let you guys actually have that conversation in the comment section below. I try to give you guys as much information as possible. I don't have every meter in the world, but I love talking about the garden. I love speculating on what could be going wrong with the plants so I can fix my problems later. And I actually have another grow going right now. So if you guys want to have updates on that, I don't think I'll do something like this, but these plants had to deal with some pretty harsh conditions with the super intense SF2000s dimmed at 100%, beaming down on these plants to the high mid 70s to low 80 temperatures. It would definitely swing quite a bit, and the 48 hours they experienced right before the chop. This is going to be a breakdown of week basically 7 to harvest. Week 7 we came in and I was noticing the smells. It was stanking up the place, and that can only mean one thing. The terpenes were evaporating off of these plants and they were having a rough time, but that did not stop them from producing the dank, awesome trichomes. And could these plants' buds have been bigger if they had more humidity to deal with, a little bit less temperature? Of course they could, but they produced dank, smelly, potent buds nonetheless. I had a great time growing these plants. Coming into the last couple weeks, they were showing off great color. We were fighting off the bugs basically until the last 2 weeks of flower, which honestly I'm not very happy about, but you live, you learn, you deal, you chill. Coming out of this grow, like every single grow before it, it was its own unique learning experience. And a couple things I am taking away from this is when I sprout my Chill Out OGs that I currently have running in my next grow, I am going to be doing a lot more defoliation. I'm going to be going hard on that plant when it comes to its defoliation. And that is simply just because if I do not do proper defoliation, you can easily make a climate that you do not want with this plant. I always see extreme defoliations when I'm looking at Reddit or other forums or grow pages on Facebook, stuff like that, and they just have this extreme defoliation where they only leave the tops, and they do that like every couple of weeks. And I think that's something that I might have to implement, is a very strict defoliation schedule for this plant, simply because of the extremely massive amount of biomass that this plant will produce. It loves leaves, and it loves making stems and branches, and it loves staying super stout to the ground to make this dense, compact environment perfect to host bugs, mold, and mildew. But if you can keep those things out of your garden, this plant definitely is worth all of the work that you put into it. I had a super fast dry, disappointingly. They only stayed in there from about Wednesday until Saturday when I chopped them up. Yesterday I was in trim jail pretty much all day. I probably trimmed for about 5 hours total and got those plants completely trimmed up. They were definitely small, compact. I didn't give them enough time to veg for a variety of reasons, but I am still not disappointed with the product I got off of this plant. It is an amazing plant to grow. I recommend it for everybody. We are pretty much finally done. I have not got the yield count or anything like that, simply because the buds are not completely finished. That will be in the next update. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and man, the Chill Out OG was just amazing. This is a short thing. I just wanted to skim over the last couple weeks. You guys all know what happens. It gets big, swollen, it gets dank, it gets colorful. For the last 48 hours, I had those lights at 100, or not at 100%, they were dimmed down to about 30%, and the temperature cooled down quite a bit. I think that did them a big favor when it came to creating more terpenes and not having to evaporate as many off, because that was able to get the plant or the environment into the mid 60s. So kept that plant a little bit more cool. I think that helped a little bit with the flavor profile, but honestly, I have no way of knowing because I didn't compare it to anything, sadly. But the Chill Out OG, a couple things. If I were to grow it again, I would definitely veg longer. This plant requires a long veg period. Defoliation, I want to take off a lot more of that biomass. I want to not be nervous because those small buds down below, they turn into almost nothing going into the flower stage, and I would have rather had that energy all converted to the tops. So minimize your tops on this one. You won't regret it. Defoliate as much as possible. I felt like I did a pretty good job, but apparently I did not do enough. So that just goes to show that no matter how much experience you have, no matter how many runs under your belt you have, no matter how many genetics you have run, there are still things to work on. So I hope you can think of some things to work on in your garden as I have mine, because I mean, that's just a constructive mindset. But if you enjoyed hanging out today, hey, hit that subscribe button if you are new. If you like this video in particular, you like seeing the plants, leave a like, and let's just have some conversations down